Roll call, please, Sharon.
Alderwoman Key.
Here.
Alderman Boyle.
Here.
Vice Mayor Harrington. Alderman Ward.
Here.
Alderman Bowen.
Here.
Okay. And the next thing on the agenda is a prayer by Alderman Richard Bowden, and immediately following the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag.
Our kind of gracious Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you so much for that you've given to us to enjoy, and Lord, enjoy what we did. So thank you for many blessings you also give to us. Now, Lord, we ask you to be with us throughout this meeting. Let us have a good meeting and progressive meeting. And everything we do here tonight, let it be for the benefit of the citizens of Bluff City. Now, it's everything we ask in Christ's name. Amen.
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 Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, and the next thing on the agenda is citizen comments. If you have a comment that you would like to make, you can come to the podium and give your name, address, and phone number, and it's 5 minutes. Yeah.
Name is Jerry Malone, live at 372 Smith Street, 423-538-6434. Phone number. Is that all I needed already? Thanks. I've got 2 or 3 hats on us today, so I'm going to try to condense it as much as possible. But I just want to thank the board for the confidence they put in me and the trust to represent the city of Bluff City in the 911, Sullivan County 911 District Board member. I've been on there 8 years, and my term ends in September, and I was able to be chairman of the board for probably 4 out of the 8 years, and we've had I know how it is when you run a city. It's like running a big business. It's very difficult. The way it works, the city recommends somebody to take that position. It needs to be somebody basically in the Bluff City area. Also, they need, I don't know if it's an age, I think it's either 18 or 21, man or woman, it's not distinguished, must have a good record. Y'all will recommend somebody, and I can get them the application, and they actually turn the board, which they do a background or so they check if somebody new. And then the 911 board approves it and sends it to the mayor and the Sullivan County, and then he brings it to the commission to be voted on as to put it in. So it is a real important thing. I think it needs to be, somebody's going to represent the city the best they can. Also, somebody with some business sense, because, we work with probably between $1 million to $2 million budget. So when you're spending the county's money and the state's money and so forth, and so you made it to the best of the thing, and I should have probably tried to come back to these updates, keep it changing and stuff. But I think one of the newest things we got now is text. So if somebody say they can't talk or can't holler, or somebody's acting with a gun or in a closet, they can text to 911. So one of the newest things we've done, we bought the software and stuff. It's just a matter of getting everything put through the state and doing it. When I went in, I think we were charging $1.50 per phone deal, and it state come in and cut that to $1.16, which is good. And I don't know, it may go back up, but it cost us about $250,000 in operating. So, when you cut that much out of your budget, you've got to make some drastic decisions, and that's the reason when you do, and you get under that, you try to do it. But we work with the sheriff's department. We don't actually work with the dispatch. On a one-on-one, the sheriff's department does cover all that. But, we do all the software, all upgrades, telephone lines in and stuff like that, and then give the sheriff's department so much money to operate or help operate his operation. So we help train. writing training manuals and stuff, and take some of the dispatchers to different parts of the country, the state, to try to get specialized training and get a good group of dispatchers to represent the county. So if maybe by the July meeting, y'all could come up with a name or two names or whatever names you think, and like I say, and let me know, and so I can present it to get the application to them and then get it back to the 911 board. So so we can kind of, it takes a month or two to kind of do it. The TINA, which is the Tennessee Number Association, this year we've had to go to Nashville for the last 8 years I've been there, for 7 years. It's going to be in Kingsport this year, so whoever the new member is, they can, it's around the middle of September, that's when they normally have it, and then they can go and get, figure out kind of what's going on. It takes you a couple of years to kind of figure out, what you've got into. Theoretically on meeting times is second Monday. They schedule every month, but they only have to meet 6 times a year. And unless, we got a lot on the agenda, just can't get it all done. We're meeting like the 28th this month because the budget has to be in by July the 1st. We got to be sure there's nothing hanging that we hadn't paid or went up or stuff. But, like I say, I do appreciate that very much. Okay, my second hat I brought is that I think this might have started with Miss Keith and made a comment or something, and maybe Ray, and I don't know where it ended up, but somebody said, well, we need more for Bluff City and more music and try to do more stuff in town. So Pastor Sean Glenn called me and said, hey, can you get me some groups and so forth and so on. And, come to find out he was hard to get a hold of. I know some of y'all have a hard time getting him. But so I just took it and kind of run with it and hope we can finally put it all together and get some help on it. June 25th and 26th, decided to do a weekend deal. Be a concert at the Little League field on Friday night, and a concert on Saturday night, going back to back, and then a kids' day on Saturday, I think from probably 10 to 2, and with games, food, and stuff for the kids. It's the Little League's end of the year sort of celebration too, so tying it all in with thing. It's going to be called Bluff City Little League host Community Appreciation Concerts and Kids Day. So in other words, we want everybody in town to tell them that everybody appreciates them to come out, enjoy the thing. And I only had one stipulation in it. The band, Billy Crawford Band, says they'd come and play if Irene and Billy would sing.
Oh,
and so I've had,
listen, that won't happen.
so we hadn't got that on contract yet, but I'm sure Billy will, and we'll make Irene could lip sync if she don't sing. But Billy played with Billy Wells' band and stuff for several years off and on and stuff, so it's a real good time. He said he'd love to see Billy and Charles and all of them together. But so kind of a blues, Americana Friday night, bluegrass gospel on Saturday night, and some rockabilly. Got a young kid that does Elvis, Jerry Lee Lewis, Johnny Cash back in the old days when they were starting out. So it'll be free, no charge. I guess that's what you eat or something, concession stand. But I think it's going to be really good, and I think it's going to be great for the town. And I think it's positive, everything I've got so far on it. So, and we're doing get some sponsors, and people are starting to really get interested. So that's my 2 hats I got tonight. So
Thank you very much. Mm-hmm. Who's next?
Hello. My name is Amanda Shell. I live at 222 Gerald Drive, and my phone number is 423-383-9662. I'll be honest, I'm not really sure how this goes, but I'll try my best. I am an avid fly fisherman, conservationist, and environmentalist. It has been brought to my attention about the rezoning of the property on Lakeview Drive, And some of the concerns I have is the storm drainage system and how it's going to be treated before it gets dumped into the river. I am concerned about the chemicals and oils and hot water that is caused by runoff from the asphalt and possibly pesticides from the lands, and how that is going to affect the streams and Boone Lake / South Holston River as it becomes from river to lake at that area. And also, where my land is adjacent to the property, and I actually have horses and everything, and I went through the whole process of making sure that it was okay and within city regulations before placing my animals on my land, and I'm concerned that this might be an issue once houses get built, and I don't want to have any issues with that. So I don't know if my questions get answered now or later, or how does this work?
We'll have a public hearing at the next meeting.
Okay.
This is citizen comments.
Okay. Thank you.
Does anybody else have a comment?
Hi, my name is Roger Bryant. My phone number is 423-491-0947. She actually made it easy for me because I've never been to one of these either, so I'm not sure on processes or anything. But I'm also against it like her, and I live across the street, which is basically the property that's between the waterway and everything that comes up. And I actually clean up a whole lot that washes through there. And whenever I first bought the property, I was interested in buying some of it since I'm maintaining a lot of that. And I know how much I clean up already, and I'm concerned if you start adding a whole lot up there coming in and out, be a whole lot more. So I have environmental concerns, and I have safety concerns. I mean, there's kids in the neighborhood. People already travel pretty quickly, and start adding a whole lot more traffic. And, it becomes, it's pretty much noisy on both sides of my property from boat. But that's the reason I bought it was the waterway, and I don't want to see that get messed up. And I guess. Finish.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. If no other comments, we'll move on to discussion and action.
I actually have some handouts to share as well, if that's all right. I may.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Michelle Roberts. I live at 231 Lakeview Drive. My phone number is 423-484-4137. I'm here this evening based on the handout that I just provided. You will note that there are 3 pages in the handout. One of those pages is the proposal for the development at 229 Lakeview Drive. The other page is a copy of the survey of 229 Lakeview Drive that also includes my property at 231 Lakeview Drive, and that is dated from 1991. The front page of the packet that you have actually shows a not-to-scale rendition of the two overlaid on top of each other. I just want to make the point that you can see in the yellow that there is a 40-foot deeded right-of-way that goes from Lakeview Drive. It makes an S-curve that comes into the bottom of 231 Lakeview Drive. And at this moment, that has been deeded since 1991. It is included in the survey, and as you can see, the proposal does not match up with the survey. So we have not had any communication regarding changing that deeded right-of-way, and I just wanted to bring that to the board's attention this evening.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Does anybody else have a comment? Okay.
Hello, I'm James Roberts. I reside at 231 Lakeview Drive with my wife Michelle and our 5 children. Phone number is 423-430-0069. I had made some concerns addressed at the previous meeting, but just to get them on record and reiterate with the board tonight. In addition to what my wife spoke of regarding the deeded right-of-way as well as the utility easement that is on record, has been on record. There are some concerns with that. In addition to the proposed plan, actually it says it on the proposed plan, the proposed plan is already asking for variances to establish precedent, and our 40-foot right-of-way actually extends beyond what they're asking for. So that is going to be a conflict right from the start for the board's consideration. Also, I posed the question, is the another accompanying property about the possible effects it could have on the agriculture in our area. We do have quite an array of wildlife on this property. It is not necessarily a volume of property such that it would be recognized as an agricultural property, but there is a large amount of wildlife that will be disturbed with this if it was to move forward. I also had brought it to the attention that there is already a congestion and a danger on Lakeview due to the high speeds that are traveled in that area. This is known by all neighbors on Lakeview. This has also been addressed with the police department here in Bluff City. In addition to that, concerns we had were with the additional proposed neighbors. On here it says at the moment it's a perspective of 19 total on this property. However, that's only the proposal. According to this, it is allowed to go to 33 with the additional potential of up to 33 properties. That many children, you're including longer bus stops. I brought it to the attention of the board at the last meeting, stating that the bus does not go into the cul-de-sac and the communities around the area. I was questioned on that. I have since verified with members of different communities, and the buses do not actually travel into the cul-de-sac areas. The bus will maintain on the highway and on the main thoroughfare. So now we're going to have longer bus stops, longer waits. There's not adequate room as it is represented now on Lakeview to accommodate a turning lane, not without sacrificing some of the property by the prospective builder. In addition to the addition of a retention pond, there is, or excuse me, not a retention pond, but a stormwater management area, utilizing an existing drain system that has been known to clog and backfill, and has actually had a direct impact on at least 4 houses on Lakeview Drive in the last 18 months, give or take?
Oh, years in my case.
Yes, for an extended period of time. So I just want to bring it to the board's attention that there are other concerns. However, I want to reiterate what my wife said. The most important, the most, in my opinion, the most concerning to the board is before the board allows a rezoning of a property based on this potential plan, the board needs to be fully aware that if they do so, they are doing so knowing that this plan does not take into consideration and encroaches upon an existing deeded right-of-way of a Bluff City citizen. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Gary Morrell, 238 Lakeview Drive, Bluff City, 538-4281. My concerns is in response with what he was mentioning there, which I have had previous issues with, have addressed with the city and have had no resolution as well. My home has been flooded multiple times. I brought this to Irene's attention, and it's not had any resolution of this as well. Since the sewer line has been put in to Lakeview Drive, they have filled in the ditch that was across the road from my home. I have had water flow directly over into it and have had standing water in my house since that has happened. And with this proposal as well, I'm trying to find out how is this going to be resolved as well, because I've asked for things to be done which have not. Nothing's been resolved here. And with the addition of this as well, I'm trying to figure out how is this going to impact my property and my home as well, with the water runoff. That's all I've got to say.
But the state did actually come up and look at the situation.
And they
Yes.
did nothing as well. Yeah.
Does anyone else have anything? Okay, if there's no other information, we'll
If I
have.
might interject, I think that was one comment as well that was made, that if there was any issues that they would be brought to the city. I think from what I was told from the last meeting, if there were issues or problems, and that was my concern. If you come to the city, there's not a resolution.
Thank you. Okay, we'll move on then to discussion and action. Dave Wilson with Mattern and Craig Construction.
Mayor, members of the Board of Mayor and Alderman, thank y'all for having me this evening. I just wanted to come and follow up on our project and briefly where we are at. As you all recall, we've entered into an extended agreement with Thomas Construction Company with the understanding that those folks will be back on site later this year. With that work, we had two additional pieces of the project, including the garage pump station and force main, and also the repair of the sewer line along Railroad Street. With those two pieces of the project, the city was required to execute a new permitting agreement with Norfolk Southern, and we've gone through that process. We followed back up. We were worried about possibly having to go back through a new approval, and that is not the case. They have re-forwarded all the agreements for the mayor to execute. At this time, we have a couple of pending items with those. One is they want to have a very good schedule so that they can make sure they have an inspector on site. So we'll have to project our dates. I'm a little leery of doing that. I'm going to see if we can give them a range. We anticipate that it'll be from November into December, some period of time when they're back on site. And the other item is that in lieu of the licensing fee, which the city has already remitted, the railroad has come back and they would request that you execute an additional insurance policy, which they call a railroad protective liability policy, or in lieu of that, a risk management fee. And I have been in discussion with Ms. Green and Mayor Wells about that, and I had wanted to follow up with your actual provider with respect to what your existing policies do cover, and then with that risk management fee, once that is executed, there were amounts along with that. For the garage pump station, it's approximately $1,900. For Railroad Street, I think it'd be approximately $2,100. So those are amounts additional to what's already been remitted. Those, with that, again, then the only thing that we would have remaining is just for those folks to get back onto the site to do the work. Y'all have any questions with respect to that?
Well, I do. I would like, this is all new to me, and I apologize for the problems that you're having, but I do hear you. And you're talking about moving forward. Well, the gentleman just said something about having a flood. We need to get things taken care of before we can really move forward.
Yes, ma'am. I agree completely. Anything that we can do to help that issue, we certainly will.
Yeah.
I don't know, we did come up and we requested, the main thing I understand, we have a ditch that needs to be cleaned, and Alan, correct me, it's on the state right of way, and we requested TDOT to get back to us. Anything that we need to do, we'll follow through.
Well, we need to do it because I don't want the citizens to have to be going through all this. No fault of theirs.
I agree.
It seems like that we don't have much of a choice about the $1,900 and the $2,100 that the railroad wants us to pay. The insurance company, Sharon talked with the insurance company today, and they suggested that we go ahead and take that policy. So it's left entirely up to the board members on what you want to do.
Well, I think I have made myself clear about getting this taken care of. The man said he had blood in his basement or whatever. We need to get that stuff taken care of.
Yeah, but this is in regard to the grant.
Right. Okay.
This is.
Mayor, request to be recognized.
Okay.
$4,000 at this point to keep this project moving forward is pennies. As far as the time delays that we've had, if we need to spend another $4,000 for permits, let's do it.
Okay. Did you want to make a motion?
Mayor, I make a motion that we approve the additional $1,900 and $2,100 fees for the railroad committee or the risk management committee.
Can I ask
I'll
a
second.
question? Can I ask a question before you vote on that?
Yes.
This is something that has to be done.
Yes, it's the insurance.
Okay.
And this is to approve, would you include in your motion to approve the contract with the railroad?
Yes. Is it okay? You can include the
I will
contract.
restate my motion. I make a motion that both the fees for the risk management of $2,100 and $1,900 are approved and paid by the town, and that the contract pending is approved by the board. I need a second again.
But there's information that hasn't been received on the insurance. There is more stuff than just these two fees. And the insurance is verifying there's more things in the agreement about the insurance. Do you have that with you?
Yes, I do, and I would recommend that the resolution be made with the stipulation that these issues are addressed. And specifically what those are when they come back with the insurance requirements, they want to make sure that you have certain amounts of commercial general liability, your automobile liability, also your workman's compensation, very general types of insurance policies with the contractor actually has insurance in place with the project that covers those. But the way I understand it, this is for the municipality also, and then it will name the railroad as an additional insured. And we're just following up to make sure that each of those policies and those limits are actually met within the town's existing coverage. Is that stated correctly?
Yes.
Yes.
They wanted to verify all that before
Yes.
we voted on the agreement, the insurance, our insurance.
Yeah, I think to be able to execute the agreement pending that each particular requirement is satisfied by your coverage. And if not, come back to you.
The railroad is really pushing. I do want everybody to know that. They're really pushing to take care of these things. So I hope we don't fool around and end up with more problems than what we already have. So you want to withdraw your motion?
My only concern is that we're going to lose the inertia of this project. So Yes, I withdraw my motion from the floor, but I would like to hear something about this very, very soon.
So do you have anything else, Dave?
No, ma'am, thank you.
Thank
I
you.
will, Ms. Green, be in touch, and we will contact to ensure these are covered. And those, again, what I see are again, you pay the fee in lieu of executing an additional policy. You're paying a risk financing fee. That's the $1,900, $2,100. And then they want to ensure that your insurance also has the appropriate coverages for commercial general liability, auto liability, workman's comp, and employer's liability insurance. I feel confident these will be satisfied with your coverages, but we do need to verify.
And you did mention that that this is money that we could get back from the grant.
Yes, all of these, the permits and, all the work that was put into putting these applications together, they're all reimbursable through the grant funds, yes. And that was included in the long laundry list of all items for the work.
Okay.
Mayor, you do have all that in writing, right?
Yes. Okay. If you don't have any other questions, we'll move on to discussion and action minutes, regular meeting minutes of April the 6th, 2021. Do we have a motion to approve?
Mayor, I make a motion to approve as read.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Take a vote, please.
Alderwoman Key,
Yes.
Alderman Walls,
Yes.
Alderman Ward,
Yes.
Alderman Bowen.
Yes.
Okay, then the next one is regular meeting minutes of May the 4th, 2021. Do we have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I have a second.
I second that motion.
Take a vote, please.
Alderwoman Key,
Yes.
Alderman Walls,
Yes.
Alderman Ward,
Yes.
Alderman Bowen.
Yes.
Okay, we'll move on to discussion and action. The first reading on ordinance number 2021-007. Mr. Fry.
Ordinance to rezone certain property from R1 to R2 within the corporate limits of the town of Bluff City, Tennessee, and amending ordinance number 95-012 and the zoning ordinance map adopted therewith. Be it therefore ordained by the Board of Mayor and Aldermen of the town of Bluff City, Tennessee, that parcel number 5.3, according to Sullivan County Tax Map 111, Control Map 111, parcel 5.30 and located at 229 Lakeview Drive, Bluff City, Tennessee, is hereby rezoned from R1 to R2. That this ordinance shall become effective from and after its final passage of public welfare requiring it. The Planning Commission unanimously recommended this on May 11th, 2021.
So there'll be 3 readings on this?
No, there'll be 2 readings and a public hearing. There'll be a public hearing at the next reading.
At the second reading?
Yes.
Anybody?
Request be recognized, Mayor.
Yes.
I was fortunate enough to meet with a lot of these folks as a member of the Planning and Zoning Commission recently, and we gave everybody plenty of time, in my opinion, to discuss the issue. Glad to see some other folks out today as well. I don't think the issue, however, it seems to me, the issue is only that we're rezoning property from R1 to R2. And it was my opinion then, and it is now, that the property should be rezoned. We have another property owner as well involved. And I appreciate the passion and hearing about, obviously some of the other issues that really don't have anything to do with this. But I stand by my recommendation, and I still feel that this property should be rezoned to R2.
Do you want to make a motion?
Yes, but what's the zoning around the property?
R1.
Everything's R1 around it?
No.
Except for River Bluff.
I've got a report here from our planner. And here's her analysis. The property is shown on official zoning maps as part of the R1 low-density residential district and currently has a single-family home on it. The applicant wishes to rezone the property R2 medium density. Since the R2 district allows for smaller lot sizes, there are 2 R2 lots to the east of the property and 1 R2 lot to the west of the property. Since there are 3 nearby lots on R2, rezoning of this property will not be considered spot zoning. And that's that's pertinent part of the report. And this is not approving the subdivision at all. This is just rezoning. This is not approving the subdivision. That's not been addressed yet.
Mayor and Board, I make a motion that this property be rezoned according to the ordinance from R1 north.
Do we have a second? Do you have other questions that you want to ask?
Can we speak?
No.
Now, who asked to speak? And you are, who do you represent?
I'm speaking. If I'm allowed to speak, my name is Kevin Buck, 808 Florida Avenue, Bristol, Tennessee. I work for Chad Baker, Baker's Construction Services. We are the developer.
Okay. If the board has any questions, our representative's here to answer the question.
As far as our concerns with that right-of-way, I take it the right-of-way will end up going up the road and then to the right-of-way that they're...
That is the intention, but that is not our ability to make that happen. What we have to do is to provide we have to make that easement, the existing easement, unnecessary. And we have to prove that. And then we can eliminate the easement by providing the deeded public right-of-way in lieu of the deeded easement.
Is the land behind it locked?
The land behind it won't be any more locked than it is now. And it will actually be connected to a public right-of-way rather than the easement running through the property.
Excuse me, sir. I think you need all the information. This is our deed. If you'll notice, it actually references a deeded right-of-way, not an easement.
Okay.
There is a difference.
Okay, this is only for questions from the board to him.
Well, if he's not giving correct information, Mayor, I apologize.
I'm just going by the way it's supposed to be handled.
And so if we pass this meeting, next meeting, we just make it clear, it goes to the public, we have a hearing, or the public, that's when they come in and make their comments.
It goes to a full public hearing.
And then that's when we can vote up or down then.
Right, ask questions and everything.
And it's also publicized in the newspaper and stuff. So you get it.
Excuse me, Mr. Fry, but you are saying that we would vote anyway once?
You would vote again. You'd have to vote.
Okay.
You'd have to vote at the second reading,
Right.
and there also have to be a public hearing.
Right.
Just preceding the vote.
Oh, okay. Because some of the concerns, I think we need to know more before we vote on it, because evidently everybody's not on the same page, and this is very serious for the citizens.
Well, this is first reading for this to advance to the public hearing stage. It had passed tonight.
Before it actually passes.
It wouldn't pass.
And I'm the engineer on the project, and reading through your agenda, I thought that our discussion and action was going to occur when this issue came up, instead of during the citizens' comments, which of course I didn't know if we were supposed to speak then or supposed to speak now. So it kind of seems like we were supposed to have spoken
I understand, but this is the only time the citizens get to comment,
Okay.
so that's why they commented.
The representative for the developer can speak to the board to answer any questions at this time.
I'm here to answer those questions.
At this time, yeah.
So can I ask you a question? The retention pond's going at the front of the property next to the road?
That's correct.
Okay. So all runoff should theoretically hit the retention pond?
Yes, should be. And we've worked with your city engineer. He's checked our drainage calculation. As far as the pollution, we're in compliance with Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation as far as removal of 8% of total suspended solids from the stormwater.
And there's nothing there now?
There's nothing there now.
Right, it's just running straight off the lake.
Yes.
Do y'all have any other questions of him? Now's the time to answer all the questions that you have.
Well, we can ask questions next meeting too.
Anytime, yes.
Yeah, but we won't go ahead unless you vote on this. You're not voting on subdivision anyway. You're only voting on whether it's zone 1 or 2 to rezone.
Did this be held for a more in-depth review at a later time? I mean, specifically for discussion.
The issue is the rezone.
Yes,
That's all
based on-
we're talking
It's a rezoning based upon the application that attached to the application was the plan. So you're being asked to rezone it for the purposes of this community. And we have already established tonight that the plan that you've been provided is not a legal plan in which you can approve. Therefore, it's a moot point to rezone it at this juncture until you are presented with a plan that recognizes that right away and is accepted. Then absolutely, I would understand the procedure.
I disagree, sir. The Planning and Zoning Commission, of which I am a member, heard the complete plan. We have every document. And I recommend approval then. I do now. I'm hearing a lot of other issues being argued. But today, all we're talking about is, are we going to rezone that property from R1 to R2? That's all. And I stand by my motion.
We need a second to move forward.
Based on the planning commission, since they've approved all this, I will give a second, and then we'll hear the battle next meeting. Can I do it that way?
Yes, I mean,
That way we can hear it all out.
Okay, do we have a second? You're going to make a second?
Seconded.
You second? Okay. Take a vote, please, Sharon.
Alderwoman Key,
No.
Alderman Wool,
Yes.
Alderman Ward,
Yes.
Alderman Bowling.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. We'll move on to discussion and action, employer contribution rate certification. I sent you out an agenda and to ask the board if we want to give the employees 3% more on their retirement like we have done for the last 2 years, or the minimum would be 0. So have y'all read this and decide what you want to do?
Mayor, request be recognized. This was discussed, 2 years ago
Yes.
initially?
Yes.
And our employees' retirement was in such a surplus, actually, we were asked, if I remember right, Sharon, by the state to kind of back off how much we were paying into the fund. And At that time, we decided to go with a standard 3%, which is a normal corporate rate of reinvestment into the retirement. I totally recommend and move now in a motion that we remain at 3%.
Okay. Do you have any other questions, or do I have anyone that wants to second the motion?
I'll second it.
Take a vote, please, Sharon.
Alderwoman Key,
Yes.
Alderman Boyle,
Yes.
Alderman Ward,
Yes.
Alderman Bowman.
Yes.
Okay, we're down to report from the city attorney, J. Paul Fry.
The report I have, the delinquent tax letters will go out for the delinquent taxpayers in either the end of this week or next week.
Okay.
That's my report.
Okay, we report from the city recorder / CMFO, Sharon Green.
Fund balance as of April 30th, 2021.
Chief, y'all might should go out in the hallway.
General fund, $1,820,479. Sanitation fund, $19,637. Special police fund, $12,434. Debt service fund, $162,621. Sinking fund, $3,094. Water sewer fund, $684,224. Total fund balance, $2,702,289.
Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I second that motion, Mayor.
Take a vote, please.
Alderwoman Key,
Yes.
Alderman Boyle,
Yes.
Alderman Ward,
Yes.
Alderman Bowman.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. We'll have comments from the board members. Alderwoman Carol Keefe.
Hello, everybody. It's nice to see everybody out. And as I said when I was running in the election, I will stand up, speak up, and speak out for what's right. I stand with the people for what's right. And citizens, I want you to know I hear you.
Okay. Alderman Jeff Broyles.
Good evening, town family. Thank you for the opportunity to serve for another month. I want to thank everyone that participated in our Veterans Memorial Dedication Ceremony this last Saturday. It was a huge success, and I want to praise and recommend the officers that were there supporting that effort. They did an outstanding job, and the traffic up there is amazing. We're seeing the entire community come out here to Bluff City, to our town, and visit the memorial. We are still taking names for the memorial, and we will continue to. And if the names outgrow the pillars, we'll just buy some more if we have to.
You're on the ball.
Thank y'all for doing that.
Y'all want to import them too?
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah. Come up there and check it if you would.
I just talked about your granite that you imported.
Yeah, we sure
Your
did.
veteran's name on something imported.
Well, it's hard to buy granite in America.
Well, there's 34 states that sell it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
34.
Vice Mayor Ray Harrington, he's on vacation, so he's not here tonight. Alderman Eric Wood.
I just want to thank everybody for coming out, and we'll hear what goes on with we'll hear both sides better next month on your subdivision. I see both sides. I'm a developer, so I can see both sides of it, and I've had stuff developed around me. So like I said, I can kind of see both sides. But I appreciate everybody's input, and we'll see y'all next month.
Alderman Richard Bowen.
Guys, good to see everybody out. I hope we're back to normal again, and maybe we can get something done about this subdivision next month. I hope we can, and one way or the other. We'll hear more about it by then. Thank you.
And we'll have reports from the city officials and county commissioners. Chief Greg DePee.
Good evening, Mayor and Board and citizens. Good to
Good
see
evening.
everybody here. For the month of May, our stats, we had 192 calls. We issued 273 citations. We issued 123 verbal warnings. Patrolled 6,522 miles, had 22 arrests, 17 offense reports, 26 alarms. A lot of them were from here, wasn't they, Mayor?
Yes.
I would get phone calls. Chief, did you set the alarm off again? So hopefully we've got that between me and Sharon. Hopefully we've got that fixed. But we had 11 accidents. We had 4 animal calls, 28 of our MSD reports. We had 5 domestics, had a DUI, and had 1 drug violation. Everything is going well, though. It's good to see us back in our meetings the way they are. That's great to see. Richard, good to see you up and moving around. What I want to do, we've talked about cars before. We know where we're at on the needed cars. We know the ones that were wrecked or whatever. We didn't add to our fleet. We just replaced what we had. We're in a position right now where we can't stand a lot of bad luck. We have good equipment at this time, but we just don't have enough of equipment. The mayor and I have met. We've discussed it. We've looked at new cars, and she has had me price a new vehicle, and I got that late this evening. And I have that information. The vehicle itself on a new Ford Explorer, a brand new Ford Explorer, would be $39,000, right at $40,000. That comes with everything ready to equip it, but to put the emergency equipment on it, you're looking at a low end about $8,000 and a high end about $9,500. We've tried an option in the past. It's so far it's been successful, and so far worked for us really well. We purchased the cars, you know, in Chicago. We went up, sent 2 guys up. They spent 2 days. They looked, big inventory of vehicles. We were able to get 1 car for under $15,000. By the time we got it back, by the time we got it decaled and on the road, we probably had, 16,000, 16,500 maybe, and the car is in operation today, and we've had no issues of it so far. It come equipped and everything. Cost us like $450 to have the decals put on it. So what I want to ask the board to do, I would like to send a couple guys that went before up to the lot to look at the inventory, to see what they have, see the best they have. And I'd like to ask the board if it allows a limit of up to $40,000 to look at 2 vehicles. Not saying we spend that, but where we know what range we're in to get the best of the best that they have. I know we could get 2 cars fully equipped with everything we need, probably in better shape than the one we got, for that or under that amount of money. Not saying we spend that amount of money, but just going with an ideal of what we're allowed to be looking at to get the best of the best to have. So what we need to do is to send them back up there. Probably take a couple of days. Time they get there, they go to the lot, they get the car, they let them take it, they keep it overnight, they have it go checked out, they drive it, and then they start the dealing. So then they start calling myself and the mayor, and we end up on the phone with the car dealer. So, but we need somewhat of what we're looking at, of what price range that the board wants me to look at. That's what I'm asking. Not saying we're going just to try to spend every penny, but it gives us an idea. If there's a car 2018 for $18,500 or something, that's a better car that may last longer. It may benefit us to spend a couple extra $1,000 to try to get something as low as we can, maybe. But that's the range I'd like to stay under, and I feel very confident to get 2 really, really nice vehicles, totally equipped and ready to go for under $40,000. So that's what I'd like to ask the board if it allow me to do, to send 2 of our guys up to Mark and the other officer that went last time. They've agreed to go, and I think they could go up there with the inventory. It looks like they have find us 2 really good cars that benefit the police department in the city.
Then all we got to do is just decal it.
Yep, that's it. When we get it back, drop a radio in it, have it decaled, and put it on the road. Last time, the one we had just to have it even further, once we got it back, we sent it, had the oil changed in it, all that good stuff done from the Ford company. We checked for any recalls or anything on the vehicle, so we went through that one pretty well. And it's so far so good. I mean, it's a machine, but so far so good.
I'll make a motion that we approve the budget of $40,000.
I second it.
Alderwoman Key,
Yes.
Alderman Bulls,
Yes.
Alderman Ward,
Yes.
Alderman Bowen.
Yes.
And I'll say this, I know we're dealing with the citizens' money here, and I thank the board for that, and we thank the citizens for what they do for us. We will go look for the best we can at the cheapest price. We're just not going to go spend everything we have, but it may allow us to get a little something nicer. So we'll do, if we find something really good, that's what we'll go with. But I'll be sending 2 guys up, and I guess whenever I can get that arranged, I'll go ahead and get them on their way. So, but I want to thank the board. I want to thank the town. And if anybody has any issues or problems, I heard about Lakeview Drive. We've already addressed that during the meeting. I'm going to have officers. They have been down there some, but now I've got some more times. We'll have them more present down there, being seen, doing radar, all that good stuff, taking care of you. But if you have any issues with that, please come see me, make a call, and we'll address it. We'll take care of it. So, but thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Down the Public Works.
Oh, hold on a second. One more thing. I about forgot one of the big
Oh,
things.
yes.
Mr. Caldwell. The town has had a huge problem with vultures. And we've addressed that with the TWRA. We followed up on it more today, and this man has done a great job with that for me. So he has some information he wants to pass on about what's going on with that. So,
thank you.
Right. This might sound crazy, but I actually talked to TWRA today, and they do absolutely nothing with black vultures. These are not the turkey vultures. Turkey vultures have a pink head. These have that grayish-black head. He did say that the turkey vultures you can't kill. However, TWRA, since their existence, has never written a citation for killing a black vulture. They actually offer what is called effigy. An effigy is, and this is what he told me, and he referred me to USDA's website. This is 17 pages. If you want to read it for yourself, I can leave it here. 17 pages on effigy for black vultures. So if you want rid of these vultures, his answer to it was, we kill one and hang it upside down. You kill one and hang it upside down, the rest of them will go away. And that was his only answer to it. He said that there was no other way to get rid of them. And unless we wanted to pay the USDA to come in and get rid of them ourselves.
So there is one more option, but there's a price to it.
That was the only other answer to it. So he said if we would do one, and you can actually buy a fake bird if you don't like doing this. You can buy a fake bird and hang it upside down, but they will leave. And I did, like I said, this is USDA's 17 pages of it, and the University of Kentucky did study on it too. So I'm assuming that the USDA is correct on this. It's actually called APHIS, Animal Plant Health Inspection Services. So.
And I thought when the officer told me, Chief, we need to kill one to hang it up, he was playing a cranky joke.
No, this was that was their. It was TWRA referred me to them, and that's exactly what they say to do. So make your decision on that. But the only other option with that is to have APHIS come in, and he says they will in the middle of the night set up and kill these things with night vision. But that would be something that's done in the middle of the night. That would be at a cost.
And if the board wants us to further review that, look into it, see what the cost would be, we will be glad to do it. Outside of that, I think there, are all.
It sounds crazy, but that was USDA's answer to it.
If it works with a big owl.
If you want me to try to have an officer get one and hang it.
Well, I want to thank you for this because I brought this to the board, and I know that there's some concerned citizens outside town too that they have brought some concerns. Dwight King and I talked about it. I talked to him the other day, matter of fact. So if it's just as simple as doing that, we just need to inform them.
Well, they made
exactly, and that's kind of what he said. If you have a place where it's not, obviously we're not going to hang a dead bird on Main Street, but if you have it on your property and it is an issue, you can do that in the back door where nobody sees it in a tree, and they will not come back to your property.
And they made like a fake gun.
Yeah.
It was like $98.
Yeah, it was $100.
You can buy one.
Really?
Yes, it's on this website.
But it has to be a black vulture.
And
you can look it up. It's EFFIGY.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll move on to water plant operator. We'll move down to public works supervisor, Alan Mortree.
Good morning. Good evening.
All right.
How you all been doing? Good to see you all finally again. in your normal seats. But in the sewer department, the sewer pump stations are operating well, with there being no issues regarding the pump station. In the street department, the staff has been working hard, keeping up with brush pickup throughout town. When it comes down to brush pickup, the work orders will be priority over non-work orders. We typically get a lot of customers asking why piles are being passed up, but that's the reasoning behind that. Also, what I have to report on, we've started back working at the pavilion there. This fall, we had sprayed stain on the deck of the boardwalk there, and for some unforeseen reason that didn't stick well. So right now, we're currently rolling the stain on the pavilion, and it's a little time consuming, but it is working out very well in that respect. In the last couple weeks, we have seen an increase in vandalism at the pavilion there. In the bathrooms, we've had broken air hand dryers, items such as that. So, if you see some of these things going on, please try to curb some of the folks from doing this, because it actually is causing us an issue. We had one issue recently with one of our sinks. The sink just constantly ran, and now the water bill is up. So issues like that we are starting to see quite frequently, but overall, everything throughout town is going well. We do got a lot of paving that needs to get done ASAP. Beyond the paving, we just recently conducted a sanitary survey with the State Department, and that all went well. They'll be back mid-June to finalize everything, and then that's when we'll know if we have any issues that we have to address. But we have started that. And that should be ending by mid-June. So hopefully we grade well on that. But other than that, like I said, the pump stations are operating well. We haven't had any major issues. But at the same time, we haven't been challenged. We haven't had the big rainstorms yet. So that is yet to come. But as of right now, we are looking good, and I hope it stays that way. Other than that, if you all
Okay, the other items that we mail the cards out on, they're picking up around town on Wednesday and Thursday.
It's you said
Wednesday and Thursday. This week.
This morning,
if y'all received your card in the mail, it tells what they'll pick up and what they won't pick up.
No.
So.
You sent that out today?
No, it's been out.
Okay.
Oh gosh, it's been out.
Stuff is already out.
Yes, definitely.
But if anybody have any questions or anything that I can address, please let me know.
I was just wondering, has the ban been lifted where you can, reserve the pavilion down there?
You can reserve it. You can reserve the boardwalk. Whether or not it's parking in there at your own risk, I'm not quite sure on that.
No, it's just reserve. It's just reserve it.
Okay. So yeah, we're open. Any other questions? Concerns?
Good job, Alan.
I'm trying.
Good job, Alan.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Allen.
You, the citizens, are proud of.
Yes, we are.
Okay, the water plant operator, Terry Banner.
I missed last month, and I'm sorry, I was out of town. But all of April and May, we've had no trouble with the water plant. Everything's run fine. And the only time it's been shut down is when the state made us to make sure all the alarms and stuff worked. So everything went good. We did 6 backwashes in April, 4 in May, and they only require us to do 2. So we're getting everything, the turbidity and all the trains, 1 and 2, and the finish and the raw, all running really, really low. And we're staying at about a 46 to 48 feet in the tank all the time for cents. Any questions at all? I'll be glad to.
Have you?
We had, I believe it was a rate that asked if we would keep the water tank around the 50 range. We actually tried to keep the water tank in the 50 range. One concern I have, since we've been up in the 50 feet range, pressure has increased throughout the system, and like some of the areas that haven't had work done in, we've been seeing an increase in water leaks. So it's been up and down, up and down.
We're still keeping it well over half or 3/4 full. Still doing good.
So we're at, right now, we're currently at 49 feet, and we should be back in the 50s. And like right now, we're purchasing 48 gallons per minute from Bristol Bluff, and that will soon we'll have to turn down because I'm assuming the leak that we fixed today will actually help our situation. So hopefully we won't have to be purchasing water from Bristol Bluff at the rate we've been purchasing currently. Yes.
Have you heard the results back on your test?
No, it'd be probably mid-June. I think I did okay on this one. I think I did good. And we used the pump truck too. It worked really good for that leak was on. We'd still be there working on it if we hadn't had that. The pump we had wouldn't even keep the water out, much less the mud. So it came in real handy.
Good.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we don't have any Sutherland County Commissioners with us tonight, so we'll move on to, have any old business? The only thing I will mention is I have not received the information back from the company on the swings.
That's my question. I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea when we might? Because
it's probably going to be a couple more weeks because they do it, they just do everything about the whole diagram of the whole area that you have and everything that you're going to use down to what you decide to lay on the ground under the swings. So hopefully within the next 2 weeks.
You think we have it up and going by August?
I hope, but I'd rather wait and make sure that, without telling you that, so people won't want to beat me over the head. Okay. Do any of you have any new business that you'd like to?
I do.
Okay, go ahead.
We heard earlier this evening from Jerry Malone, and we all know him well, and he's a strong advocate of the town. And I've heard a little bit more in detail about this wonderful thing that's coming, as far as the music goes.
Yeah, we're planning
on
that
the
too.
25th and the 26th. Citizens are already very excited about it. And, this stuff is not free. To put on this event, Jerry does have some private donations, and I won't mention who they're from. But, I really feel like that we need to buy into as a town. We're not charging anybody a thing to come to 2 nights of music. There's no big checkbook out there. And Jerry's been out there working his butt off, and we have been able to secure. But when you have 6 bands, they have to be paid.
Yeah.
And we have to do different things. We have to have a little bit more money than we think we might.
You have to take in consideration, though, the event that the city puts on for the citizens of the city. And that's what we have put in our budget to be able to take care of the Heritage Day celebration.
Right. And personally, I had talked about having something, too, in the summer, some kind of fun things, what we're calling it. We're kind of toying around with the name, Bluff City Got Talent. And this is something that I want to do for the citizens. I want to give back. And I've got some performers that are willing to come, and they're not going to charge anything. Just to, have fun and give the citizens something to do. Clean fun. Y'all like to have clean fun? Clean fun. Yeah. And this would be at the pavilion where I was planning on, maybe reserving it once a month or something. It's okay.
It's free.
It's free. Okay. And just bring the talent.
Well, I differ in that opinion because I think that as a town, we do have surplus where we didn't do Heritage Day, we didn't do this, we didn't do that. And I don't understand why we can't at least make a small donation to a nonprofit organization, which is called Bluff City Little League, By the way, if there's funds that are not expended, they will stay with the little one. It's not going to pay anybody. So we can't buy in a little bit of money to help out on this event.
It's up to you all.
I mean, it's something that would really need to be discussed because I think you just gave a big donation to the War Memorial, didn't you?
We actually we only used half the budget.
Right, but the swing set, remember?
And we have plenty
I'm
of money
planning on
left
using
for
that.
it.
I want to make sure because this is for the children, something for the children, and I want to make sure the children get theirs.
Yeah. So do you all want to wait and take that in consideration at the next meeting? Or?
Yes.
Okay. So if you have no other new business, I need a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
I second it.
Take a vote, please, Sharon.
Alderwoman Key.
Yes.
Alderman Boyles.
Yes.
Alderman Ward.
Yes.
Alderman Bowles.
Yes.